Welcome back, guys. PPS here, back. Monotone football rolling. It's the 16th, already halfway through February. We're right on the cusp of the All-Star break here, so this will probably be our last show, I think. I don't know if next Wednesday I'll have games on it yet. I haven't checked the All-Star break schedule, but probably our last one before we get to see what team Durant versus team LeBron. So that'll be interesting. Probably 400 points scored in that one. But how you doing, Monotone? How was the weekend? Have you been cashing some tickets, or how you been?
Yeah, man, it's been up and down. You know what I mean? We've had some real good days. We've had some real frustrating ones. Yesterday, we were like a Montrez Harrell overtime bucket away from, a nicer day. But yeah, it's been good recently. I'm feeling good about NBA. I think today's a great slate. I feel really good about everything we're going to talk about today. So I'm excited to keep doing it. And yeah, I think we got a good show we're about to give you guys today.
Yeah, how'd the Super Bowl go for you? You make some money?
Yeah, man. I mean, my biggest one was the Evan McPherson, the kicking play, and it was just so easy. I mean, like it was it was just so incredibly easy. Like that was really my only huge play, and that's what I told people. So I had a lot of fun stuff too, and we cashed some of that. Cooper Cup said glory to God, but he did not thank God. He thanked his teammates after he said glory to God, which apparently doesn't count as a thank you. So
Damn.
that was a tough loss for me. It really hurt, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, no, I actually had a really good one. I had a good Super Bowl. I dropped 3 free ones there, and T. Higgins' longest reception of the game was plus 650. I know I talked about that on the show too.
Let's go.
That paid off really nice. Obviously, it was offensive pass interference. I'm not going to debate that, but was able to cash in a pretty nice plus money ticket. I had Cup MVP. I had him and Miller as my 2 MVP options. That cashed. National Anthem cashed. And then I had orange Gatorade. Unfortunately, I didn't get the blue. So
I didn't get to blue either, man. That was probably the toughest loss of the night for me. Those Gatorade colors. It's serious business, but hey, it is what it is.
Did you guess the coin flip?
Absolutely not. No way. I was not going to mess. I don't like the coin flip bet at all. I'm on all the other fun ones except I'm anti coin flip. So no. What about you? Or did you get heads or tails? Or
No, I did the national anthem. That was about as far as I'd go with that. So
yeah, my biggest hit actually was Dr. Dre to perform first. I got someone in my DMs that was like, "Hey man, my buddy told me Dr. Dre's performing first," and I was like, "Okay, I trust you."
Yeah,
and it worked. So that's
a couple bucks on it.
Oh yeah, maxed it out.
Awesome. Well, let's get. We got about 25 live viewers in here. We'll keep dropping a couple tweets out here and get everything rolling here. But got Jay in the chat as always, dropping his knowledge. Taking LeBron -6. I think LeBron's team is better. Personally, I thought they were better. The whole James Harden thing is just kind of funny. So I mean, we'll see how that goes when the game actually tips off, if that's even going to matter. Tails never fails. He said he lost $5. I know everybody that I was with in the house that I was watching it at were all on tails. So it was just a deflating part of the whole thing, was just watching everybody take L's on that one.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, that's the Super Bowl. It's a great day. I'm going to miss football. I'm going to have to change my name. You introduced me as, Monotone football. I don't want people getting the wrong idea. So we'll see.
I know. That's what I saw when you have it on there. I'm like, oh, yeah, we gotta mix it up to Monotone basketball or something too.
I made it through last year, so hopefully we'll do it again,
Awesome. I'm just going to share out this link. We'll get ready to roll. Again, guys, while we're waiting here till we get some people popping in, drop a like if you can. We appreciate that. Let's try to get 50 likes on the video today. We got about 20 of you guys in here. Hopefully we can get over 25 in the first 20 minutes, and we can get to 50 by the end, because we try to stay on for about an hour on stream here. Let's get one tweet out, and then we'll start rolling. Looks like we have a couple people posting in the chat. I'm curious. Yeah, I'd be curious. I know I was on orange as well, so that was what I was hoping for personally.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. I don't know. I think the move is like you got to scout out what they're doing at half, or what they're doing during the game, and that's when you'll know. Like I put a tweet out. during halftime, and I was like, hey, like, what color is it? And I got a couple people that were like, it's going to be blue. So maybe we need some live betting options next year for Gatorade color. That would be fun.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they wouldn't, because I mean, it's not like anybody's going to know until at the end anyway. So, LOL, I bet tails for $5 and orange Gatorade for $5. Yeah, no, everybody was on tails. So I'm sure Billie Jean King got the call from Vegas. So,
hey, man.
Could be baseball since he only can fit one L at the end.
That's a good point. Yeah, basketball actually would not fit, so it would be monotone basket, I guess. I mean, betting is the obvious choice. Just saying betting, but we'll see. Maybe it'll happen one day.
Jax joins us. Awesome. Well, thank all you guys for popping in. I did see we have a couple questions in there already, so thank you guys. Keep dropping those. After our first round, we'll pop in and we'll get to all of your questions here. So we're about 6 or 7 minutes in. Let's get it rolling. Let's get right into it. I think we both have a play in the same game from this first one. So we'll start out with yours here, Monotone.
Yeah, so Josh Hart is an interesting guy, right? I'm a big fan of Josh Hart. We'll get to him a little bit later when we talk about DFS tonight. But he's a great kind of utility player. You know, and when he was with the Pelicans, he really made himself kind of useful on the rebounds with the assist, you know, just kind of being an everyman. But here, when we're in Portland now, things are a lot different. Portland is almost begging anyone on their team, hey, if you want to shoot the ball, shoot the ball. Like, we will gladly let you guys take as many shots as you want. I mean, this is a team that it looked like they were getting ready to lay down and give up. But in reality, they're out here fighting really hard and winning games. They're on a 3-game win streak right now. And aren't they more than 10-point underdogs today too?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it just didn't really make sense. Like they played the Bucks really, really well. I mean, they played the Knicks well. I mean, they're playing close games, 2-point games to the Lakers too. So 3 games without McCollum really hasn't been anything too crazy.
Exactly. And yeah, Josh Hart he's gone into a little bit of a spot up role almost. Like, he almost never played that kind of position where he was, rather than actively cutting, actively moving, he was just kind of waiting to get his shot. But just watching the film over these last 2 games, I've noticed he is doing that a lot more. So in those 2 games, he went 5 for 9 against Milwaukee, and he went 3 for 6 against the Knicks. So obviously, I mean, he's getting his shots up. That's definitely an improvement over what he was looking at before. So we only have a 2-game sample size of his new team, but obviously 6 and 9 attempts is exactly what I like to see. He's 2 for 2 on this number. Also, I mean, we're getting the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are a great defensive team. I don't want to take anything away from them. But what makes up for their defense is they play at pace. That's really important.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like the Knicks aren't necessarily the greatest defensive team in the world, but they slow everything down so much it becomes so hard. The Grizzlies are the opposite. They're a good defensive team, but then they get out and score in transition. They're a fast team in general. So I think the opportunity should be there. I'm not too...
Oh, we got a little lag on here.
Good?
Nope, I hear you now.
Okay.
There we go. I think your face just froze.
Okay. My bad. It can't be worse than last week. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, no, that was an interesting face you gave the people there. So
yeah, but yeah, no, I think just everything is looking great about this. I think this is going to stay a close game. We're seeing Simons kind of facilitate for him, and we just saw CJ drop 30 points on the Grizzlies yesterday. So it's clear they're not invincible to a shooting guard, you know. If Ja Morant plays in this game, he's questionable, I believe. That's even better. When Ja Morant gets on the court, the defensive rating of this team does not get any better. It gets worse. So I'm feeling good about this one. I think Josh Hart has a great all-around day today.
Yeah, I love this play. I love this game. I'm actually going to be in another play in this game. And you kind of alluded to exactly what I was going to be talking about in this next one, which is awesome. So I'm going to kind of add on to your play with mine here. And I'm going to actually roll with Anthony Simons points assist here. We talked, I mean, you obviously brought it up. Anthony's actually playing a pretty good point guard role lately. Last 4 games, at least 5 assists in every single one of them. Since CJ is gone, he's shot 23 shots per game with the 3 games without CJ. And again, this is what we say whenever I take a points assist, points rebounds, I want the ability for one of them to pop off. And Anthony Simons has actually cleared this number on points alone in the last 3 games. Obviously has the ability to do that. Also, I think that, I mean, this isn't a long shot in my thing, but I think Anthony Simons' double-double here actually has a fantastic value, plus 1,100 for a double-double for Anthony Simons. I think he's going to be able to facilitate this whole entire game. I think Memphis is going to obviously stop the paint. They got Jaren down there, who's obviously a fantastic shot blocker. I could see a lot of driving kicks, obviously, hoping it's to Josh Hart, hoping it's all the way kicking it out. Maybe we see a little bit of Nurkic dump down, stuff like that. But I think Simons has to do it today. Simons is really going to have to do it. Like I said, 5 assists in the last 4. I think he had a 6 and a 7 assist game in those as well. And they've been actually playing good basketball without CJ. Like I said, they only lost to the Lakers by 2. They played the Bucks. Like the score in that game does not reflect how that game was played. It was close the entire game. Bucks pulled away at the end like you expect them to do. But Anthony's usage rate pops up to 26.2 without CJ McCollum on the floor this year. And I really do like this spot. You exactly talked about what I was going to say is I'm not really as afraid of the defense with the pace here. If it was a middle, like if you're playing like a middle team in pace and a high-end defense, I'm not touching this one. But if I get more pace, we got a guy young, wants to show off, fresh legs. I think Simons comes out for us. I think he might get, maybe it's more like a 25-point game, which is under what he's been scoring the last 3 games without CJ. I just need an average game. Give me 22, 6 assists. I'll take that all day. I think that he's going to have to be a facilitator a little bit more. I think the over 5.5 assists has a ton of value at -110 as well.
Yeah, I love this play, actually. You might have even done enough to talk me into just adding it to my card after this, too. One thing you didn't mention, too, is this Portland team in the assist category is not helping him at all. Simons has one of the worst assist conversion rates in the league over these last couple games. He's averaging 15 to 19 potential assists a game, which means, you're not going to convert 100% of those, obviously, but Simons, these guys are leaving 3 to 4 assists on the table for him, that all these sites are grading as very good opportunities. So when you look at even as adjusted assist, it's closer to 7 than it is 5, despite the fact that he's kind of staying at this 5 mark. So he kind of gives you a safe floor, but the ceiling is there. We know it. We have the potential assist stats. We don't even have to speculate. We know the ceiling is there. So I'm actually going to play his double-double tonight. You definitely talked me into that at 1,100. I was looking at it last game. I didn't pull the trigger. I ended up just playing his assists by itself. But yeah, no, I like this spot a lot. His volume is unmatched right now, man. They're just letting this guy let it rip. So I love both of these guys in this game. And if Ja Morant plays, I think that'll be the cherry on top. Ja Morant's great. He's a great offensive weapon, but this team gets way better defensively when he's off the court. So love both of these spots in this game. I feel way better after talking about it with you now, actually.
Yeah, I think this game is under the radar when you have bigger teams playing. You got guys who've been on that late slate, like your Kings Bulls game. That one's getting a ton of love. Yep. Even that Timberwolves Toronto game has been getting a lot of action. Obviously, you get to see tonight, you get to see the Warriors play the Nuggets as well. Get to see Jokic pop up against probably one of the better teams in the league, right? So, let's get it rolling. We got a couple questions in here. We got Steve-O in here. Not really a question, but he's saying points assist for Gary Trent is a lock. I don't use that word ever. But if if Fred VanVleet's out, I have a hard time seeing it's going to lose. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to drop the L word there.
100%. No, definitely agree with you. If no Fred VanVleet, then that's a great spot. So it'll be interesting to see if Fred plays or not tonight, but it's looking like he's not going to play. So definitely agree.
If you don't have the options, I would take the PRA. But if you do have the PA option, I think that's the best spot. It's just Nurkic is just an absolute load down there. And it's going to be Steven Adams down there. It's going to be Nurkic, Jaren Jackson. Those are big-ass dudes. You're just going to have to be, really far out 3-point shots popping deep for him to be grabbing boards.
And Winslow's like a 7 rebound per game guy.
I know. He's been popping off now. Yeah. Yusef, wait 1 second, man. We will be talking about him in extensive fashion here in a bit. So promise you, we're not forgetting you. We will talk about him. C. Martin talking about Jay Crowder over 5.5 rebounds. Is that a thought? Has that crossed your mind in anything?
Yeah, it's a problem because the Suns are so good. They just kind of beat the crap out of bad teams. So when the Suns play bad teams, kind of like the Jazz, like when they play the Rockets, I mean, we just saw the Rockets lose by like 35 to the Jazz. When we look at bad teams, I like to see bad teams with signs of life, and the Rockets don't have that many. So the Crowder trend is great. He's been, rebounding the hell out of the ball recently, but just blowout potential. I mean, it's a 17-point spread. A guy like Crowder, he's not going to stay out there in those blowout minutes. He's a seasoned veteran. They're going to let him get to the bench as soon as possible. So, I think he could very well get there, but you're not only betting on Crowder to have a good game, you're betting on the Rockets to have a
great
game.
A great game.
Great game, yeah.
They're going to need a great game to stay in this game. It's 15-point spread.
Yeah.
Like, and the worst part is I almost took the other side. Like, I almost took the Suns. That's how bad this team is. So I just really have no idea how they're going to stay up with these guys. I think it's going to – the only guy I think on the Rockets I could keep it close is Christian Wood. I have not been a huge fan of DeAndre Ayton's defense as of late. I'm curious how he's going to take him out again and shoot him at the three-point line there. So we'll see. But, yeah, you're going to need to stay close because within 5 minutes that game gets to 20 points. You're not going to see him again. Okay, Woody said that Buddy killed him. Well, hopefully not tonight. Like I said, we'll talk about Buddy Hield for sure. David has a question here. 22.5 over on points here against the Bulls. Do you have a thought on De'Aaron Fox tonight for our last question before going into our last two?
Yeah, it's tough for me. There's no reason why this prop shouldn't hit realistically. Like, Fox is playing out of his mind. He's motivated. I think even last time I was on the show, I was talking up Fox. I think I was saying the motivation factor was huge for me. The problem is it just doesn't make sense why this is the number. I mean, everyone in the world is betting this tonight. It reminds me a lot of Clint Capella rebounds yesterday, where it just makes no sense why it wouldn't hit and then it doesn't hit. I know that's not like a real reason. I hate to be the guy that kind of says that kind of stuff because I think it's wrong most of the time. I'm just not – I don't know. The juice isn't there. I think I'd rather play 25 plus points at like plus 125, something like that. Because I don't want to lose the minus 135, minus 145 juice that's on 22 points on most books, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was sketchy when I saw how many people were on it and the line really not moving.
Yeah,
as much as I thought it would. But yeah, I'll never take anybody be mad at anybody for taking it. I think it's a good spot, but
100%.
When you've done it as long as we've been doing it and we've seen exactly how this works, it's just like college basketball where it's like, why is this guy at 2 point? Why are these guys only 2-point favorites? They should blow them out. And then all of a sudden they're losing by 15. It's just something like that. It's not anything really stat based. It's just kind of a feeling you get when you see the plays enough. So, let's get to our second place. We'll bring in your biggest play of the night here, rolling with the Curry brother.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was writing my article this morning for 3-point made, I couldn't decide if I wanted to write about Seth Curry or Steph Curry. I ended up going another direction totally, but I love Seth Curry tonight. I mean, this game, I think, is going to be a close one. The Knicks, the Nets, I believe it's a nationally televised. Yeah, it's an ESPN game. Whole world's going to be watching it. The whole world is kind of ready to shit on both of these teams, right? Both of them have been playing poorly. But even beyond all that narrative stuff, I mean, Seth Curry came in, and in his first game, not only did he take the most field goal attempts, not only did he take the most 3-point attempts, but he led the team in scoring over a guy like Patty Mills, who's been trusted to run the offense all year. As soon as Seth Curry got in town, they were like, okay, Patty, you can go back to that 6-man role. You were pretty good at it. So it's kind of clear that Seth Curry, for the time being, no Kyrie Irving, no James Harden until after the trade deadline, that it's kind of Seth Curry's team to at least take a bunch of shots. It's not necessarily his team to facilitate for. He's not going to get you any triple doubles out there. But what I do think is I think he'll get you about 20 field goal attempts per game. If about 8 of those are from beyond the arc, we know Seth Curry is a great shooter. I think this is a great spot. Additionally, the Knicks pack the paint. That is one thing about the Knicks. They do not let opposing guards really get in the paint. But Seth Curry is a great mid-range and 3-point shooter. So what they're going to do is they're going to drop down in the paint. They're going to give him a little bit of space. And I think we're going to see him really work in that mid-range today. I would not be shocked to see that. That's why I picked points over 3-point made. I like both of them, but I really do think they're going to give him some space in the mid-range. I think he'll take advantage of that. So 18 field goal attempts in his first game, 8 3-point attempts in his first game. I think this is a really good spot for Seth Curry. Knicks defense, I don't usually like to target it, but I think this is a good spot tonight.
Yeah, I think it's just low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a low number for a guy who's going to have the volume. I mean, he's a good enough shooter. I really don't know who they're going to have matchup 1v1 on this guy because I don't really think that they're that great defending the perimeter. They are an elite at defending the post and defending the paint. They're huge, but I think Seth Curry is going to have a pretty good day here. I think this is a good spot to attack for sure. And let's get to my last one. Again, guys, smash that like button. We're at about 15. Let's get to 30 here. We got about 35 of you guys in the chat. Let's get rolling here. Again, drop the comments below if you guys have any props you want us to talk about. We got a massive slate tonight. Only going to be dropping our 2 favorites. So if you guys have any questions about other ones that you locked in already, you want a little bit of help on one that you're trying to figure out if you want to lock it in, we're here for at least another 30 minutes to get everything in here for you guys. So we'll try to answer all of them for you. And I'm going back to one of my dudes. I'm going back to Cole Anthony. I know. I lost my last one on him. It was disgusting. He played absolutely terrible. Only played like 26 minutes in that game, and just wasn't effective. I mean, that's really all it was. He just did not play well. But that was an extremely tough matchup. They played the Denver Nuggets. Now I have the Hawks. I have the number 3 worst defensive efficiency team here in the Hawks. They have really struggled on defense this year. It is a pace down spot, but with this defensive efficiency, I really don't care that much in a pace down spot. Orlando's actually number 8 in the league in pace, which I was very surprised with how many times they're running those 7-footers in the game, 2 of them at the same time. I was surprised to see that, so I like that spot a lot. It's a buy low spot after these 2 tough ones. They played Phoenix, got blown out. He missed this number. And Denver, very, very tough defense to exploit. But prior to that, he hit this number in 5 of 6 games. This is a guy exactly like Jalen Brunson. He can do everything: rebound, assist, and he's had multiple 20-plus point performances this past month already. He's got a 26% usage rate this year, and he's closing in on like 33 to 37 minutes in close games. So I think all those combined with his bad defense, with his usage, with his shots, I think Cole Anthony gets here. I think that the rebounds and assists is really going to help this line out because, like I said, this dude is really good at rebounding for a guard. He's almost 6 rebounds and 6 assists a game, 5.9 and 5.8 respectively. So I don't really think it's going to be much of an issue here to see Cole Anthony go out there and maybe grab me 8 rebounds and 6 assists. And then all I need is 15 points. I'll take that all day. Cole Anthony facing the Atlanta Hawks tonight. I'm going to be rolling with him. 1.5 unit play.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know you're a big Cole Anthony guy, and for good reason. I think the Brunson comparison is pretty good. It reminds me of almost Brunson in maybe year 2 or 3, where the jump shot wasn't quite there yet. You know what I mean? Once the jump shot comes around, he's going to be a really complete player. The biggest thing for me is I feel like I'm the only one. I know you can relate to this a little bit because you also did NBA last year. Do you have any Clint Capella PTSD? Because last year, Clint Capella was a borderline defensive player of the year. I mean, the way he held down the paint was, you don't play guys in the paint against Capella last year. And now, I mean, everyone is scoring. Those stats you said in your explanation explained it perfectly. I don't know what's going on with that team, but for me, I'm still hesitant to play paint scorers against Atlanta, despite all the overwhelming evidence telling me that I should just do it anyway. So I might be a little bit crazy right here, but I'm still, this sounds so stupid to say, man. I'm still a little bit scared of Atlanta, I guess. But I do, if I had to pick anyone, it's 100% Cole Anthony. You said it, 100%, 26% usage rate. What was the Simons usage rate? It was 22%, right? Is that what
it was? It was 22% prior to CJ McCollum. It bumped up to 26%. So they're about the same now that CJ's gone.
Okay, I was gonna say because we're all the whole gambling community is kind of going crazy about Simmons' 26% usage, but you yourself just said, I mean, Anthony's got the same usage on this team, which is insane, and nobody's talking about it. So I might have to put my PTSD aside and get in on this one because I am also a fan of Cole Anthony. I mean, the guy can put up a triple-double any day, and then he needs 9 points. Okay, I'll take that for sure.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know why. I don't know what it is about his game. It's just something about his game just really, especially against these teams that don't really care if you score. It's just going to be a fun one here. I think that's going to be a fun game to watch. for sure. I think it's just going to be one of those games that just goes up and down, up and down. Trae Young will definitely go into it. It's just when they play better teams, Atlanta can't try to transition your Bucks. You can't try to transition the Cavs. You have to try to slow the game down, and they do well in the half court. But I think they're going to be more than willing to engage in a fast break game here that Orlando definitely is more accustomed to.
100%.
All right, got a couple questions in here. No Collins tonight is a big hit. Cavs scored pretty easily last night. Yeah. Capella really only played 26 minutes last night, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, they like Okongwu a lot, it looks like. I mean, the guy's getting run.
Yeah, I get it, but how at some point, why wouldn't you just play them both with Collins out? Because the Knicks are just huge. Julius Randle, I think, triple-doubled on them, right? So, I mean, it's not like Okongwu was playing great defense, not like Capella was. So you might as well put them both in and at least try to stop the big guys of the Knicks, but they obviously didn't really care. This is one for you here, Monotone. Is it wiser to bet on the Suns secondary players because the 17.5-point spread?
Yeah, no, this is actually a great question. I think some people do this even without thinking about it. But yeah, I do think that's a good strategy. The biggest thing for me is it's kind of almost like a parlay. The way I described it earlier, where if you want to bet the over on the starters, you're kind of parlaying the fact that the Rockets keep it close despite a 17-point spread, and then the player hits the prop. It's kind of almost the same thing when you're betting on the role players, because a normal role player line, it's going to be slightly inflated when there's that kind of spread anyway. So, predicting a blowout is really tough in the NBA. If someone could do it, they'd be rich by now. You know what I mean? These blowouts are just crazy. They don't discriminate. Good teams get blown out. I mean, the Sixers were down by 50 at the end of the third quarter yesterday against the Celtics. So
that was unbelievable.
It was. So, I don't think that's a bad strategy, but it does come with risks for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot put more than a half unit on these. These are if you're trying to do that, you might as well a same game parlay and try to raise those numbers on those bench guys. I think that's probably the best chance you have.
That's exactly what I personally do. 100%. It lowers your risk, but your upside is the same. I mean, if Cam Johnson for the Suns is going to play 26 minutes, then his chances of getting 8 and 15 points are very similar. He gets 8 points in 9 minutes. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly.
Definitely agree with that. Good point.
Exactly.
And great question, too.
Yeah, thank you guys for dropping these in here. Trevor, one of my dudes, asking, do you still like Seth at 16.5?
Yeah, I mean, assuming it's minus 115 or better than 100%. I think Seth Curry's got another 20-point game in store. And maybe I should go bet that too, honestly. I kind of want to now. I like Seth Curry a lot. I like everything we've talked about a lot today. I really do feel like this is one of those shows that's just like a sweep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it does feel good, and we still haven't even got to the DFS portion yet. So, Allen drops Isaiah Stewart over 8.5 rebounds. No Williams. Celtics will be playing smaller tonight, and that might be a reason why we don't roll with Williams, because he's not. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong; he does well. But he does well when there's a guy like Williams underneath the hoop to do dirty work with him. I would probably lean points if I'm going to take Stewart here, because I think that he's way bigger than Horford. If he wanted to body up Horford, I think he has a pretty easy path to victory there. But rebounds, it's like when you play Vucevic or you play that, Horford could easily pull out Stewart and you literally have no rim protection there. Yeah. So I would lean points. I wouldn't even take it myself, but if I was going to take anything, I would probably take points over the rebounds for that reason.
Yeah, no. I mean, Stewart's been playing well recently. I don't mind points, but Celtics, man, that's a tough matchup. I think I'm done playing overs against the Celtics personally, for the time being, at least.
Yeah, they're playing fantastic basketball right now. Back-to-back for both Boston and Detroit, or back-to-back for Boston and Detroit coming off an off day. Detroit allowing 122 points per game over their last 5. Boston averaging 118. Thoughts on Boston team total? Again, this is one that just scares me because this could easily get to blowout potential, and you're going to see a bunch of scrubs in there. Obviously, it's a little different than college where the NBA guys are still NBA players. But Detroit plays their starters down 30. So it's not like you're going to get the backups against the backups. You're getting backups against the Detroit starters. I would say if I'm going to take anything, this is something I attacked a ton in college basketball. Is the first half team total. I think the first half is going to be your best bet here. if you want to bet a team total. I just don't know how long they're going to play their starters, to be completely honest. I mean, I don't think this game stays close. If it does, maybe to the third quarter. Boston they're playing on another level right now. They just beat the living crap out of the Sixers, and now they're going to play against a team that really hasn't found an identity with Jeremy Grant back in this lineup. It just seems off. There's one too many guys who need the ball.
Yeah.
I would honestly personally take Sadiq Bey and Cunningham way over Grant, and Grant's still trying to get the same usage he had before Cunningham was there. So I'm staying away from all Detroit. I would not touch anything against Celtics.
Wouldn't have trading Grant been great? I mean, you let Cade fully operate this team. You let him play a little bit faster. You get Bagley in the starting lineup, run the pick and roll, do Cade.
Bagley's a fantastic matchup with those guys. I think they're going to be great together.
But instead, half of the plays are Jeremy Grant ISO possessions. I mean, he makes this team almost unbettable for me, to be honest. But I agree with your analysis 100%.
Yeah, definitely need a nice rolled ankle and sit for a week or so. Then I can bet them all up, and we'll be good.
If he gets a rolled ankle, though, I mean, he might just not come back for the rest of the year. That's what happened last year. He just took the second half of the year off, so we'll see.
Yeah, it was tough. Trevor mentions that's minus 110 at 16.5. I think that'd be a play. I think he said minus 115 or better. So,
yep, and it's minus 105 on Caesars and MGM right now too for those people that have that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I think that is the best spot. I think that would be your best bet there if you really want to bet those. That would be my spot to play. Detroit actually playing at a very fast pace, a lot faster than I remember them playing at. So we'll pass this over to you. Thoughts on Mitch over 10.5 rebounds and Giddey over 7.5 rebounds?
Yeah, I mean, Mitch has been playing great recently. I assume we're talking about Mitchell Robinson. I would hope there's not another one that's with 10 rebounds. But yeah, I mean, is he fully cleared to play yet? Do we know 100%? I know that
I do not know.
Yeah, he's been on and off the injury report. But if he does play, I think it's a solid spot. He's one of those guys. I like playing guys with their minutes solidified. We have an 11-game slate. There's so many options. And when a team runs those kind of big rotations like the Knicks do, I mean, so many guys. I know Mitchell Robinson is kind of a gambling Twitter guy. You know, a lot of guys like playing him for those double-doubles because you get pretty good odds on him most of the time. But, man, he can be a disappointment at times too. So I don't mind that. As for Giddey is one of your guys, not mine. So we should throw that over to you. I don't play the Thunder ever. So
yeah, I love Giddey. I had his rebounds last game. I'll be on it. I'll be telling you guys why in a little bit. So yep. I think the over on the Giddey side is great. I think 7.5 is one rebound a little too low there for sure. Mitch Boards dot points. Yep. That's what I think we were talking about was rebounds there. Solid from Ethan. Appreciate it. We got Freakier Bowl 7. Ooh. What's your thoughts on over 11.5 Rudy Gobert rebounds?
This is his first game back, right?
Second
game back. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't feel very strongly about it. I saw my buddy, that guy Betts, wrote it up, and he's a very smart guy. I haven't got a chance to check out his article yet, but I would go check that out because he probably gave you a pretty good, compelling reason. I have no strong opinion. I haven't gone to that Jazz game much, to be honest. I don't know about you, but, you know, Lakers are a great matchup, so I would lean over just on first look, but I would need to look a little more for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, I would just go check his out. We have enough guys in the space that we respect and we know are very, very knowledgeable in this space. So if they have something written up and you ask us about it and we haven't really looked at it, that's all I'm going to say is go check them out. They obviously really know what they're doing and put together really good content over there too. Adrian talking about points assists on MGM isn't bad. Yeah, I think that the points one just definitely is the best value. I don't think we're going to see many double teams coming from the Knicks there. So I think it definitely could be a good spot, but I think that Monotone has the best spot in that game with just sheer points. We don't really make same game parlays like that. I'll give you a same game parlay for my late game. So I'll give you that for a same game, but I'm not going to I haven't looked enough at everything to get a full same game parlay up for you guys.
Out of all the games to get a same game parlay for, the Suns is brutal.
That's the worst game by far to do it for.
Yeah.
There's so much variability in that game.
If you message me like on Twitter though, like what the odds need to be or something like that, then I'll go mess around and look for what I think, has some value. So if you message me on Twitter, I'll take a look at that for sure.
Yeah, because like right now I couldn't give you too much. All right. FYI, I think this is the best spot personally. Rudy double, Jazz win. I think that's better than the 11.5 rebounds. Giving me plus money on it too. Great spot. Thank you for dropping that in here.
Vandy, man, I like the name. Yeah, no, good spot for sure. I think Joe said right above, you can't figure out the Gobert prop. Yeah, it feels low. I mean, the guy's a 14 rebound per game kind of guy. You know what I mean? So they like putting up those sketchy lines. Everyone got Capella'd yesterday. We'll see what happens with Gobert today.
And this is one thing I will say, guys, is I didn't bet NBA for 2 days with that with the trade deadline, all that stuff happening.
Yeah.
You got to see what these guys' usage rate and new role is, because if you just start throwing these in there with all these new pieces, it's very, very hard. That's why a lot of these guys are kind of staying away from certain teams that switched up so much stuff where, again, we are the betters, right? We don't need to bet everything. We could just take which ones we like the best. We're giving you our best stuff. So, again, that might be a sharp line. We don't even know what Gobert's run's going to be tonight. So that would be maybe where you start seeing Vegas raking the money there, just like they did with Capella last night.
Yeah, I mean, any play where common sense is so obviously on one side and then the number doesn't reflect that common sense scares the fuck out of me. It's Fox and Gobert, the two that stick out today. They could both very easily hit, though. It's gambling. It's tough sometimes. But hey, we say this all the time. You don't have to bet everything for a reason. You know what I mean? You pick and choose your spots.
Exactly. All right. Again, guys, still about mid-30s here, and people in here, smash that like. Again, both of our accounts are in the description here. So if you guys do want more free plays, if you do want to message us some plays that you have personally that you don't want to put in the chat, our DMs are always open. I try to get to everything the day of in a couple hours or so. So, drop those in there if you need them. And if you have any more questions, we'll get to those after we're done with our DFS and long shot portion here. And we'll get to our value portion.
Yeah, okay. I like both of these guys. So I almost thought one of them, I thought they were both mine for a second. But yeah, no, I'm on Dante Divincenzo. Speaking of new teams, we both got guys in new teams here. I don't know if you saw it yesterday. Dante Divincenzo had 5 steals, which
he did that with the Bucks, man. He was good. He just did not fit in anymore. There was no space for him. So I'm glad he's off to a new team and he's going to be playing a lot there.
Exactly. So what we're seeing so far, there's 2 things that stuck out to me that make me like this a lot. 1, minutes. Looks like he's going to see 25 minutes every game, probably 30 in competitive games where he's playing well. Number 2, volume. He's not really been great from 3 quite yet, but they're trusting him to take those shots. I believe he's over 6 3-point attempts in both of his games so far. With the Kings, with one of them, I think he was at like 9. It was against the Wizards. He was not very good in that game. But he's one of those guys that racks up stats across the board, whether it's from shooting, whether it's from defense. He's a guy that can grab you 8 rebounds. He's a guy that can get you 6 assists. He really can pop in a lot of these different categories. We're getting him real cheap today because I don't think people are quite ready to commit to that Kings team quite yet. But something I've noticed, and it was actually original reason number 2 when I said 1 and 2, but I got a little bit lost there, was he's playing a lot with Sabonis as an off-ball mover. That's really been Dante's best skill, I think, since entering the NBA. Is he's a great cutter. He's a great off-ball. Yep, he's a great off-ball mover. He can score, but he's great to be assisted on. And Sabonis is really running the show in that second unit that they're playing. So essentially, Sabonis works the mid-range. Divincenzo cuts and they, work it out. So I really love that connection. I think that's going to be a really profitable connection for me to bet on this season. I look forward to keep doing it, especially as Dante gets more and more comfortable in this new rotation. I like Dante Divincenzo a lot today. And I like the guy you're just about to talk about a lot too. He was my other choice for this slot right here. So
yeah. And one thing I'll mention about Dante, obviously I am a Bucks fan here. So I've watched a lot of Dante Divincenzo. And same thing we're saying with Sabonis is there is some money to be made on that connection. When Giannis had those double-doubles and triple-double flirts, it's because the double team comes, right? And Sabonis is going to get those double teams.
Yep.
And Divincenzo finds a way, whether it be from the backside three-point line, whether it be from up top cutting through. He is fantastic at slashing there, guys, and I really, really like Dante. Sucks that he had to leave, but Connaughton kind of fit the mold a little bit better. Dante's a better slasher mid-range.
Yep.
Connaughton fit the shooting of the three ball,
Exactly.
and that's what we needed.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm very happy he's going to be playing somewhere else. But yeah, Dante, like I said, you can get those assists correlated with like a 20-point Divincenzo game. I'm going to guess at least 10 of those points are assisted off of a cut or an and one given to you by Sabonis. Wow, I could not think at all there. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Buddy Hield. I mean, he's so cheap. $6K for a guy who's playing 38 and a half minutes in his new role. I think that's absolutely crazy. The one thing that is nuts to me, too, is what the hell happened to Buddy Hield when he went there? 4 assists in one game, 8 assists in one game. I don't even know who this dude is anymore. I was calling him a black hole before. He was becoming a Bobby Portis black hole.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert black hole. Karis LeVert ain't getting no 8 assists in a game. And within his first 3 games, he's had an 8 assist game. He had a 9 rebound game in there too. 8 rebounds in another one. So I really like him overall, but fantasy-wise, I think it's better because he is giving you the rebounds and assists that he was not giving you anywhere else. He's even getting steals, guys. Like this is crazy. Like he is completely rejuvenated, playing a ton of minutes. He's got the name there, so you want him to play a little bit more. I think Buddy Hield's going to pop off again tonight. Might be a 5 3-pointer spot maybe for me. Like I said, he's hit 36, 13, and 16. Obviously, the 36, he was hitting the shots early in the game, and that's a live bet spot for me. If I'm going to take a bet, I would probably wait till I see at least 3 of his shots go up. If one of them goes in, I will be putting money on Mr. Buddy Hield.
Yeah, I think even a couple weeks ago when we talked about good chalk and bad chalk, I think I even talked about Buddy Hield in the bad category, but you said it absolutely perfectly. Is the guy's passing now? He's getting rebounds. He's trying on defense. It's almost, I would say, the Derrick Rose effect from last year when he went to the Pistons to the Knicks, and suddenly he actually is a good player again. We've seen that in a couple of different spots so far this year, but yeah, Buddy's volume is insane too. You didn't even touch on the shooting that much. Because I think most people know, but the guy is taking like a crazy amount of threes every game. Like there is no leash in this game. You know what I mean? There's no one telling him, stop shooting, buddy. Like this is a team, they're just going to let him fire. So I agree with you for live betting too. Yeah, I love Buddy Hield. I'm going to talk about him in a second too. So
beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's get to our top boys.
Yep. So I'm going back to Josh Hart. I talked about him a little bit earlier. I love Josh Hart today. I believe I even saw a prop bet guy on his points, rebounds, assists too. And while, that number scared me a little bit because it's so high, that's a great sign for DFS. Normally when we're talking about top guys, both of us normally go a little bit more expensive than this. But to be honest, I like Josh Hart so much. I felt the need that he kind of had to be in this category. He's going to be in every one of my lineups today. So I felt like this should be the place he talks about. We talk about this all the time. I don't feel the need to repeat it so much. But like you said with Cole Anthony, we like guys that can get there in every category. And if there's one thing we know about Josh Hart over the years is the guy is a great rebounder, probably top 5 6'10" and above rebounder in the league. He fights for him. He gets him. We're seeing him play make too. And then the shot volume is great. So I talked about him earlier. If you missed that, rewind to the beginning. I've got a play on him. So yeah, you don't want to miss that. But I love Josh Hart today. One of those guys that can get it done in so many different spots. Gets you a little bit of savings too if you play him, if you play a lot of Buddy Hield, like we talked about just a second ago. So I love Josh Hart today. Absolute smash spot for me.
Beautiful. And that's something you mentioned. We're going to top plays, and they're 6,300 and 6,400 on FanDuel tonight.
Yeah.
So these guys are under the average that you need to save money. I love Cole Anthony. Like I said, I'm very, very biased Cole Anthony. I just love the way he plays basketball. I love the way he rebounds. I love the way he grabs the boards and gets assists. Like I said, 5.8 and 5.9 assists, rebounds there on the season. He's averaging 34 fantasy points per game, but there was a run there at the beginning of the month where if he didn't touch 30, it was weird. The only one that he didn't touch 30 in the first couple games was against Dallas, who's the slowest team in the NBA and one of the top defenses. If I get 35 to 40 out of a guy who's at 6,000, definitely pays off the price, allows me to get to the bigger guys. If you want to go possibly Trae Young or some of those high-end guys, Jokic, you're going to have to save money. And this is top guys that are saving you money. We're not making you pay the 9,000, 10,000.
Yep.
We're giving you two guys that we think are going to pop off tonight that are both mid-range guys that still have the ability to break a slate for you at that mid-tier price point as our top dudes.
Yeah, I could have picked De'Aaron Fox, and sat here and said, hey, De'Aaron Fox is good. He's got a great matchup. I think there are probably 40,000 other people that could tell you that. So I think the spots that we picked out today are really good. I feel great about today's DFS slate, honestly. I think the guys we've talked about so far, I said a little bit, I get concerned with Cole Anthony from time to time for prop betting, but never for DFS. I mean, the guy's a great DFS play so consistently. So I agree with you there. I think it's going to be a really good night. I'm feeling great about DFS especially.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be like, I can fit my entire ones that I want in here and still have a ton. I can still have 33K left to move. Rolling with Hart, Simons, Anthony, and my guy I'm going to talk about here in a second. Going to be only using a little bit of my salary. You can definitely pay up for a couple of big boys here. So let's get to our long shots. We're making great time. So again, guys, drop questions in there if you have them. We will have about 10 minutes, hopefully, to get to any of your questions here.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with mine right here. It's actually one that I was going to talk about in the DFS portion too, because I think we're going to get a low-owned Sabonis today, which makes me very happy. I feel very good about Sabonis. So I played this in two different ways, but I figured I'd give you guys the longer shot. I split it in half. I did Sabonis 25 points and Buddy 4 threes at plus 600, and then I upped it to 30 points. And we get this kind of much bigger number here. I like them both. I'll start with Sabonis. I mean, it's a good matchup, one, right? The Bulls suddenly are not the team that they once were, that we were so scared of playing people against. And I think he probably gets the best matchup on the Bulls with Vucevic, right? I love that so much. We've seen Sabonis play in 2 games so far, and he hasn't looked necessarily to score that much. He's kind of almost playing a little bit passive, and he's had 2 pretty solid matchups to do it in. I mean, the Wizards are a good matchup. The Nets, they can be a bit of a tougher matchup at times in the interior. But either way, I think that's going to scare a lot of people away today, and it is absolutely not scaring me away. I mean, we've seen these numbers that Sabonis put up when Miles Turner wasn't there and he could just play center before. And I'm seeing almost everything I need to see in terms of tape where he's handling the ball a lot. He's still the floor general, despite the fact that De'Aaron Fox is there. He's playing on ball more than De'Aaron Fox is. He's practically playing point center right now. So I'm loving what I'm seeing from Sabonis. The thing is, he just hasn't been quite as aggressive, but I think that'll change today. I think these coaches are saying, hey, we traded for you. We want you to go out there and score 30 points a night. We know you can do it. I think he can do it. Obviously, we're betting on a ceiling performance. That's what happens when you get a long shot. But I am absolutely not scared of this Bulls interior defense one bit. I think Fox has a tougher matchup on the outside with Io, so I love that part. We've talked about Buddy a lot tonight, but I do think this is a good leg to kind of get those extra odds. Buddy's been absolutely firing from beyond the arc, and now he gets a good matchup against the Wizards. I mean, at one point, I'm kind of even expecting someone in here to say, hey, aren't the Wizards, a great 3-point defense? And that was true in the first week of the season. Unfortunately, it is not true anymore. If you don't believe me, just watch Saddiq Bey tape from last game. We got destroyed by Saddiq Bey, despite the fact that the Pistons look absolutely terrible. So I'm not scared about playing 3-point shooters against Washington at all anymore. Washington's new defensive scheme is let's get 3 guys between 6'8" and 6'10", and let's just switch everything. And it's not working at all so far, but it makes for good prop betting. I think Buddy has a great game. We've talked about it a lot. I feel good about this one. I'd recommend splitting it in half, going 25 points with the 4 threes and then 30 points, just in case he puts you on 29. Then you still get a nice payday.
Beautiful. Finally getting you into the crazy ones like me. I like it. I'm going with the same game parlay, triple double parlay. DeJounte Murray, Giddey, 2 of my absolute favorite guys to back. And I think this is absolutely perfect matchup. Looking at DeJounte Murray, He's had 9 or more assists in his last 6 games. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, actually more than that, 12, 11 of 10 of 12. He's had 10 of 12. He's had a double-double on assists. 9 of 11 of those he's hit 10 plus. And the biggest thing for him is he's been missing these triple doubles on rebounds. You don't have to worry about rebounding here against the Thunder. They don't have a big guy down there to rebound for them. They're missing all of their big dudes. Murray is probably going to be pushing for a triple double tonight because this is that type of defense that they can definitely grab them on, grab a ton of these rebounds from. And I really like that spot there. DeJounte Murray's just playing out of his mind. And I really, really like him tonight. Obviously, Giddey being the other side of things, he's getting a nice pace-up spot here, double-double and back-to-back. I don't think we've ever seen a guy this young do back-to-back-to-back. I don't even think that we've seen a guy this young do it twice. So I think Giddey's going to try to keep the streak going. Plus 600 on him to do that, I think is absolutely absurd. Like I said, pace-up spot. Really not a huge rebounder down there. Pirtle is okay, but I'm not really worried about his rebounding rate. I think both of these guards have an ability to grab these rebounds tonight. And that's my biggest issue on getting their triple doubles is those rebounds. They're not really getting that Westbrook treatment where their entire team backs off and lets them grab it. They have to go fight for these boards, and that's why these rebound triple-double parts is that much more impressive. I think that we're just going to see an absolute fun game here. This one's kind of flying under the radar here, and I really think that we're going to get both of these. I really, really like this triple-double parlay here.
I mean, these are your guys, you know what I mean? I mean, these guys have been great this year, and you mentioned one thing that really stuck out to me that I 100% agree with. Over this year and last year with Pirtle at center, the Spurs aren't a good rebounding team, but for whatever reason, that isn't shown with opposing centers. It's not them that are benefiting the most, which is weird. It's not like Pirtle pulls people out to the three-point line or anything, but for whatever reason, I've noticed that same kind of trend that other guys really go off in terms of rebounds against the Spurs, just not the centers. So love Giddey. He scares me all the time, but his usage is too hard to ignore right now. And he's kind
of SGA, man. It's crazy high.
Yep.
Like we're even seeing Baisley. Who the hell would have thought Baisley would be good? And now he's playing fantastic basketball. Just needed the opportunity and have a guy who can run the show, get the attention, and have him be that number 2, number 3 option. That now he's making it happen.
100%.
Perfect. Well, I don't think we have any other questions in here. Steve saying that's a bonus that he needed to be more aggressive after the last game. So that's even better. That's even better for Monotone's play there in long shot. Oh, nice. 21-74 now on building it separately for the triple double. I think that's obviously I take that. I take it at the regular 2000. I think that's a great spot. I think we're gonna. I'm. It's weird because I'm almost too confident for a plus 2100 play. I don't know if I like that. Like I'm actually feeling like, how am I gonna miss this one? You know, it's like weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm like this confident in it. So, well, while we're waiting, if anybody has any more questions, we will go through our recap here and run through Monotone's plays first, and then I will run through mine after that. So let's get to yours here first, Monotone.
Yep, we start out with Josh Hart over 1.5 threes. That's half a unit play. Love the spot for sure. And your play too, which you'll get to in a second. But Seth Curry over 15.5 points minus 120. I'd play it at 16.5 points. Also with full confidence, I think we see at least 20 points for Seth once again today. Finally, long shot. I split in half. Bonus over 30 points and over 25 points. Match those with Buddy Hield to make 4 threes. Let's get some crazy odds. I finally took the plunge with you. I think we're going to get paid off for it this week.
Yeah, I mean, if we hit one, right, we're 5xing our money. So if we both put both of our money on each one, we 5x our money at minimum if one of ours hits. My long shot, obviously the Murray Giddey triple-double. Staying in that same game with Anthony Simons, matching up with Josh Hart there. So we're both going to be in that game. I'm going with his points, assists over 27.5. If you have to split, I like the assist line, minus 105 over 5.5. I think that is a great pivot if you can't do the double ones, if you're not on like a legal state. I think that's a great spot. Points, rebounds, assists for Cole Anthony, minus 110, 1.5 unit play there. Attacking that Hawks defense. And we're going with two pretty cheap and pretty pretty good dudes here in our top options. I'm rolling with my boy Buddy Heald, who Monotone has in one of his plays. And he's rolling with one of my old bucks here, and Dante Divincenzo. And this is unbelievable. We're both going low, 6,300, 6,400 top plays. I think that we save a ton of money. You have the ability to get any one of those top guys that you want tonight. I don't know what it is about this slate, but there's just something about it that kind of gets those butterflies going like, holy shit, we're going to make some big boy money tonight.
Yeah, put those lineups in the Millie Maker. Low owned Sabonis 30 bomb is going to make me really happy tonight too.
Yeah, and not many people are going to be saving the money that we're going to be saving on doing these here. One last question, I guess, Ish. What are your thoughts on Sengun here? That's pretty much the last question I'm seeing in here. But do you have any thought on Sengun if Wood is out?
If Christian Wood misses, Sengun is probably I would say not a free square necessarily, but if you're playing any sort of serious volume in DFS, you're going to have to be heavily exposed to him because the guy is such a good per minute producer. I mean, Christian Wood missed a game earlier, and DraftKings posted his prop lines at 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists for a center. I mean, they know, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get a good line on props because some guys you have an edge on that the books aren't quite as familiar with. They know this guy's a great per minute producer. So if Wood does not play, then I will be playing a good amount of Sengun, and he'll probably be 50% owned in most big tournaments.
All right. One last thing I'm going to talk about Sengun. This is a hypothetical. Mm-hmm. Would you think that if Sengun doesn't start and this becomes a blowout, that Sengun would play more than if he starts and it becomes a blowout?
That's a really good question.
I just thought of it. I'm like, I almost don't even know if I want Christian Wood out.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. I feel like almost now that you said that, if Christian Wood does play, I think I might have to get Sengun in there in a couple lineups just as a what if, That's a great point because if he does start, sometimes even when a guy is as young as Sengun is, who doesn't even play very large minutes, sometimes they still sit them with the starters,
Because I think they have Kenyon Martin that they bring in a lot on for blowouts, and Christopher and all these guys, I think that we'll see a little bit more of those guys if it gets a little bit out of hand here.
It's a good point for sure.
All right. Looks like we are finished on up. Don't think we have any other questions. Steve saying thanks, fellas. Appreciate you guys for staying in here. Like I said, we did a great time, under an hour. Jay popping in, asking questions. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I appreciate every one of you guys popping in and asking these questions. I know we're at a weird time. We're in that afternoon slate, but this is the good time to lock in these props before we get a ton of that news. Hopefully getting good value on those with all these news of injuries and just COVID stuff that's been happening too lately. So anything else for you to say here, Monotone, before we sign off for today?
I've just got a great feeling about today. I've said it like 3 times during the show, so maybe I've already said it enough. I really do think this is going to be a great day for us. So that's all I really have to say. Monotone Football on Twitter. I think we have a great day today.
Oh, okay. This I guess is I'll say my last thing, and we got one last thing that C dropped in here because we got a minute and 20 seconds, so we'll try to get through it in under that hour here. So we never do. We usually get a little bit over. Remember, hit the like button. Again, we have our links in the description. That's going to be where all of our plays are. That's where his Monotone writes a ton of stuff for Odds Checker and a lot of other articles there. I post my RX Forum plays of the day over there every single night. And obviously my YouTube plays, I post them on this actual channel. I post one every single day besides Sunday for you guys to get college basketball stuff as well. I usually do college basketball and some NBA on that. So last thing, when is the best time to hedge a bet, and what is your protocol for hedging a bet?
Personally, it depends on
I don't hedge much.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't either. If you're a smaller bettor that's doing this for fun and you just want to make a bit of money, I think you should hedge all the time, honestly. I see it's really popular with the parlay guys now. Not sure I completely agree with it all the time. It depends on your bankroll. If you're a big bankroll guy and you trust your plays, they're going to hit more than they're not going to hit, which means you don't need to hedge. But if you're playing with a smaller bankroll, you just want to get the money where you can, I have no problem with hedging at all.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. 59. 52. Perfect. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys possibly on Friday. I don't know what we're going to do, but have a good one, guys, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.